So I'm going to talk about dieting, and not necessarily for just contest prep or anything like that, but just what's going on and how you're supposed to feel. I've been getting quite a few questions on, oh, my energy's tanking, oh, my strength, what to expect, and let's start out with expectations. Drop them. We get so fixated on black and white, and it's not gonna be like that. You don't put in X, get Y as a direct correlation. I work so hard, I deserve this body fat loss. Well, tough shit. You put in X, you get Y. And if that Y isn't what you're expecting, you change the approach of X to manipulate the variables to get the Y to be where you want. So it's just like an individual science experiment. As long as you're making progress, that's the name of the game. And if the progress isn't what you're looking for, then you adjust the variables to maximize that progress. But to say, I put in X work, I deserve X fat loss, that's not gonna work. And the only thing that's gonna happen with that mindset is you're gonna quit. You're done. The other thing is with dieting is people focus so much on the process itself, and with that being said, the process, it fucking sucks. I mean, it doesn't feel good. You're not like booming with energy or anything like that. So when you sit there and fixate on how shitty you feel, how hard it is, how you don't have any energy, how you're hungry, well, that you get what you focus on. So I mean, what do you expect to happen? Instead, focus on why you're dieting. What's the prize? My butt's gonna be toned, my abs, my arm, whatever. But you started this process for a reason, and that reason has to be that burning desire. It has to be what you're going for. And if you lose focus on that and focus on all the pain that you have to go through to get to that pleasure, you're not going to enjoy the process. You're probably going to flop. So a simple perspective check. It's like a glass is half full or half empty, it's depending on how you look at it. Well, when you focus on the bad, it's going to seem a lot worse than it is, rather than like, yes, I have the ability to diet for my goals. I have the ability to get the body I want. It's right here as soon as I do the work. So you got to change that mindset. And then the other thing with it, we're talking about, oh, I don't feel good, I'm starving, energy, blah, 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 blah. But have you ever seen a fat Ethiopian? I mean, they may descend on that, but you don't get fat without calories. You have to remember that our body it's adaptive and responsive. So it's going to change. It's going to change everything by what you're doing. If you work out more, it's going to try to burn less. If you eat less, it's going to try to burn less. So it tries to one-up you when you diet and exercise, and we coax it into cooperating the best we can. I mean, it doesn't always give you a direct correlation, but as long as it's progress, we're good. But you have to remember, the calories we intake throughout the day, that's like your checking account. And stored body fat, you have to remember what body fat is. Body fat is energy. At the end of the day, it may be squishy, gross, and all this, but it has a physiological function, and that is to give us energy when we're not able to attain enough. So we get so fixated on, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. Well, good, you can hate it all you want, but it has a primal function, and you're not getting rid of that. So you just learn to work with what it is. So if, like for instance, with your bank account, you don't spend out of your savings. Likewise, your body doesn't spend out of its savings. You have to deplete the checking before you go, oh shit, no money transfer. Likewise, if your calorie intake is too high, your checking's full. Why? You got no reason to tap into that savings. And like, when you spend all your checking, you got to transfer money over. You're not comfortable doing that, just like your body's not comfortable when it has to give up body fat. So you can expect a slight to extreme bit of discomfort when you're dieting. So because you have to get it uncomfortable enough to let that stored energy go, because you've created a demand for it. There's not enough calories in the diet to maintain the level of activity you're doing. So it has two sources of fuel by it. Well, it has three things it can do by that point. burn muscle for fuel, burn fat for fuel, or adapt the metabolism, try to slow it down so then you're no longer burning it. Obviously, the third option is what we want. The first option is what we want. We want it to burn the fat. So the whole idea of a program or any design like that is to facilitate that. So you maximize muscle preservation with the right amount of volume, load, workouts, etc. The proper macronutrients are in there to maintain the muscle mass, and the proper deficit through calorie deficit and or expenditure is there to facilitate that. So you got to have all your ducks in a row with it. But again, you're not comfortable tapping into your savings, the body isn't going to be either. So, with this process, whether it's contest prep or even general fat loss, you have to focus on the end game, the prize, the result, because it's a miserable process. And just enjoy it. Enjoy the journey, because when you get there, you got to your goal. Maintenance is a hell of a lot easier, but don't focus on the bad. It is going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be hungry. The energy is going to dip. You probably won't gain much strength. If you can preserve it, that's good. If you build some muscle, that's fantastic. But don't put these expectations so high on yourself that you feel like a failure. Progress is progress, and you cannot call that a failure when you're making results. So that's it. Enjoy the process and get the results you're after.